Social Security is gonna be gone in the next 10 years. You've probably heard that. Let's talk about what's true and how we adapt that truth to disability and special needs planning. And stay tuned to the end. If you have a child with a disability, I have a very important question for you to consider. Every year, the Social Security Board of Trustees meets to review the solvency or health of the Social Security funding. Earlier this year, they met, and it was determined that the Social Security Trust Fund will be depleted by the year 2033. That's 8 years away. So what does that actually mean? Well, Social Security has two separate trust funds, OASI for old age and survivor benefits, essentially retirement, and disability insurance benefits. The old age and survivors, otherwise the retirement benefits, the trust fund's gonna be gone. There will not be any money left by the year 2033, which means Social Security will only then be funded by payroll tax and interest. And because of that, they will have to cut Social Security retirement and survivor benefits by 23%. In other words, you're gonna get 77% of whatever's written on your current statement. Why did this happen? Well, the government broke rule number one. They spent more than they earned. In other words, they paid out more than they received. There's a lot of reasons as to why this happened, and there's a lot of ways that this could potentially be fixed. We're not gonna talk about that in this video, but let's talk about how this affects disability and special needs planning. As I analyze and project when a parent's Social Security will be taken and received, I cut it by 23% because that's what the data tells us will happen, unless something changes. The number on your statement does not reflect this reduction, so we have to do it. But what about SSDI? SSDI has its own trust fund. And the good news with SSDI is that the fund is super solid. It is not projected that they will run out. What about SSI? SSI actually is not funded from either trust funds. It is funded through Treasury revenue, the same revenue that helps with like education and fixing roads and things like that. That's also fine. So here's a really interesting question to consider. The DAC benefit, which I talk about a lot because it's a huge benefit. Technically, we consider it a Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, child benefit, but it is tied to the parent's retirement. So if the Social Security fund is in trouble, but the SSDI fund is just fine, where does that leave DAC? Does it follow the SSDI fund, or does it follow the retirement and survivors fund? We'll talk about this in our next video. Social Security is not going away. It is being reduced. It is important to plan on that. Them's the facts.